Andrew, let's start with this. James Harrison, story comes out 10 years ago, hit a guy, got fined big, and he got an envelope from his head coach, Mike Tomlin. Now, Sean Payton's like, that's a bounty. Give me a break. As a player, when you read that story on Tomlin and James Harrison in the envelope, how does it land for you?
I think being a guy who got hit in the head a lot by James Harrison for a long time, I can first off relate. But you know what? I think for me, I've always been on James's side. Being a guy that competed with him every year, I really felt he got unjustly treated in that whole deal because really the league changed its stance on all those things. And all of a sudden it became that he was this demon because he was hitting people this way. When he had been doing it forever, it was on highlight videos. It was celebrated. It was as big as hits in the league. And then things changed with concussions. And all of a sudden they kind of used him as the staple to make a point. And so I never took it that I read the story and that Tomlin kind of gave it to him as a promotion or like a, hey, great job doing it. It sounded more like to me that he was saying that Tomlin helped him in some way, like, hey, I'm going to help you pay this fine because it's ridiculous that you got fined for it.
Yeah. So you had respect for Harrison as a player.
Oh, man, I thought he was a tremendous football player and competed a certain way. And not only that, I mean, he knows this. I played with him 1 year in Cincy. He's not a real tall guy in stature. So he was when he would explode and come out of his hips and hit people, a lot of the times receivers, DBs, running backs, he was at head level with those guys, much like a running back does when he lowers his head in a hole.
I've been talking about this. I did not like the story on Cam Newton to Seattle going public. It did not happen. I don't think you should have to coddle a quarterback, but I do think you should support him. And I don't think Cam plays like Russell. And I don't think he fits. He is a celebrity. He's a starter in this league. He's not a backup. And I don't think it works. When you heard the story, and I've always felt Russell's one of the only quarterbacks in the league that's great. And his organization just never puts their arm around him and gives him that support. What did you make of the Cam to Seattle story? Let's start with that.
I thought it was interesting because I agree with you. I don't think they're necessarily the same player. I think Cam's a tremendous football player and definitely could be a starter still in this league. But I don't think those guys are that similar in styles and how they actually play. And Russell's a guy to me that never gets his due and his credit because he's tremendous and all he does is win.
Why doesn't he get the credit? There's got to be an explanation, Andrew.
You know, I think it's interesting. It's almost like we choose different guys across the league, whether we're going to judge them by stats or whether we're going to judge them by wins or Super Bowls, whatever it is. We kind of pick our things to judge guys by. And if it's Breeze, it's always got to be, even though he has won a championship lately, it's really been about stats. We judge him his greatness, and he's a great football player, but it's by stats. If it's Brady, it's by championships. And you know, for whatever reason, Russell Wilson, it's like, hey, all the success he's had every single year he wins. How he's not in that conversation is one of those guys that's like, man, how is somebody better than him? You know, it always blows you away because regardless of their team and how they're set up and how good they are on any side of the ball, they win.
Let's talk about Tua. Number one jersey seller in the NFL for his home jersey. Number two jersey seller is the road Miami uniform. So he's got a special sort of it quality to him, whether it's a Tebow or it's a Baker. You can be polarizing, you can be likable, whatever it is, Tua's got that. As an offensive lineman, do you block or think differently when Jared Goff was like a rookie to now? If you had a rookie quarterback, does it change the way you block, you think, you go into a game plan, you scheme?
I think it does. The first thing I'd say about that comment is Joe Burrow, welcome to Cincinnati when it comes to jersey sales. And two, I would say as an O-lineman, you know, yes, I think as a young player, you don't necessarily change, you know, how I'm going to block. I don't change what I'm going to do. But I am conscious that probably different things like in college football, the depth they can get in the pocket, how much they can kind of sink back and run away from defenders in the pocket and get away with it, just doesn't happen in NFL football. If you get past 9-10 yards, you're getting your head taken off in NFL football. These guys are too athletic. They're too fast. They're too powerful. And you've got to give your O-lineman an opportunity to really have somewhere to push guys around the pocket. If it's not going to be a bull rush and they're going to be pushing up the middle, they're going to be running around the edges. And you're going to have to find your way to finagle yourself in that pocket. You see Russell Wilson, you see Drew Brees, all these guys, they do such a great job. Russell does it by movement. A guy like Drew Brees does it by continuing to stay so shallow in the pocket. and really giving his tackles the opportunity to push guys around. Tom Brady's always been tremendous at it. That's the things those guys are going to have to learn, and it's going to make the biggest difference for them. The quicker they learn that pocket and where they're standing and how they protect their linemen by the way they do it is going to be the most important thing they learn, because it's going to give them time to get the football out of their hand.
Story came out a week ago from a longtime NFL veteran reporter that Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels' relationship deteriorated, one of the reasons Tom left. In your opinion, can a player struggle in a relationship with a coach and still win?
I mean, I think inevitably in any business in the world, anything you do, everybody doesn't always get along. And I think that being grown men, I think maybe if you're talking about a young quarterback, a guy who just got in and he doesn't like his coaches, or he doesn't, really feel like he vibes with that coach, I think that can be something that's, effective on that player, and it can affect him emotionally and maybe how he prepares. But a veteran quarterback, regardless of whether the story is accurate or not, I mean, I don't see how it would affect him, because as long as he believes in really the philosophy of the offense and how they're going to do things week in and week out to attack teams, it doesn't really matter to him that much about that relationship, as much as there's a respect level there that we can work together, we can go out and try and attack and execute. Now, if you ever get past respect, or you get past, hey, you know what, a guy like Tom or something didn't believe in the philosophy, that's a whole other issue. But I think if he believes in the philosophy and the way we're going to attack teams, I think it really isn't going to have a lot to do with success.
Finally, Rams have new uniforms. I like them. Joy likes them. They're bright. What does a big offensive lineman think about them?
Well, they're bright. And, as an O-lineman, Colin, I'm really not worried about how good they look. I'm worried about how bad I might look in them. So we're more worried about, things like, how bad we're going to look in that, bone and how much fat rolls we're going to have in them. So, that's the things we worry about. But, no, I think it all looks good. I really actually like the bone uniform, and I love the home, too. And we got a chance yesterday as some of the veterans to kind of talk about what we want to wear and when and that kind of stuff. So it was fun, man. We're excited about it. A new look, a refreshing look, and it's we're excited for the opportunity to hopefully get a chance to put them on soon.
Andrew Whitworth, good talking to you on Friday, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
All right, good stuff. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.